After a bit of a wait, my Superflux has finally arrived. I'm pretty happy it didn't get beat to crap in the mail or the post service. All the cardboard looked pretty good on it. Move that beer out of the way. Typical packaging you'll see on everybody else's unboxings, but I just thought I would show that, yeah, mine didn't get its ass kicked before it got here, thank God. I've seen plenty of the horror stories on the Discord about some motors getting trashed. Fortunately, not for me. Beautiful motor, really happy to have it. Slip out those foams, maybe save that for packing a battery box or something. All my hardware did show up, all the 4 or 8 bolts and the 2 hub adapters. I did check my cable at the place right there. Yeah, it's got a little bit of scratching. Nothing went through the sheath. It's perfectly fine. When, you know, it's attached to the block, I don't even think that's going to even be an issue for it touching, because it's got to come out that and then go around the block before it goes to the controller box. But all in all, the condition's good. It's acceptable. Slide cable back in. Finish on this is perfectly fine. Flawless it is not, but you know, after a few rides this thing's going to be scratched up and beat up anyways. So, but overall the finish is fine, you know, nothing to complain about. It's decent, it's good enough. The tire, it feels a little firm. Go check the air pressure. When I check it, I believe it did come out to be about 18-19 psi, which that's where I ride anyways. I could have pretty much almost out of box this, have a whole board to go, but I don't. But yeah, all in all, it looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take the air out of this. Or actually, no, right here I'm trying to twist these things. These things were crazy freaking tight. And I just checked a few more, and I'm like, you know what, they're that tight. Why? I'm not going to crack this open. There's other videos on the YouTubes right now, people cracking the motors open and having to look inside. I'm not going to do that with this one. I'm just going to let it alone. If it wanted me to get in there, they would have been loose. I'm turning the hub a little bit just to hear if I hear any rubbing or something weird going on the inside of the motor, because if that's the case, I would happily take the darn thing apart, but I hear nothing. It sounds fine. I'm going to leave it alone. It needs some white walls. So we're going to fix that by throwing on a pair of Life Savers here, you know. So I'm just going to let the air out here. I'm not going to film the whole entire process, but I will film putting on like a couple or one of them. There's a million videos on how to put Life Savers on. Seems like on the discard, some people are having some tough times getting them on their Superflux. And yeah, I'll be honest, on my XRs, I've done them all by hand, but this one, God, either I've just gotten old and weak or something. But so what I do is I put them in hot water. I mean, you'll see like boiling water. You truly don't have to boil them. The water I'm using is only like 110 degrees, and I just soak it for about 10 minutes. That way it's not so hot you can't physically touch the darn things. Because if you get them too hot, then you won't be able to hang on to them and you'll burn your fingers. But yeah, these are only at about 110 degrees, not very hot. Always put the circle F out. You got to represent. And I just get it started, and they will absolutely stretch when they're 110 degrees. These are brand new Life Savers. I literally bought them 2 weeks ago. Boom, brand new white wall on there. It was that easy. But for those that say they don't fit these Superflux MK2s, they absolutely do. They fit perfectly fine. Heck, mine's been on for 3 days. I'm just now getting to editing this video, and I haven't leaked out any air or nothing. There is no slime in the tire, I noticed, which is nice. I hate that crap in the tires. I know some people it's useful for me. I've been riding for 4 years. I never use this stuff. Either way, what a great motor. Thing looks beautiful. It's awesome. I know there was a lot of hiccups along the way getting it. I did have to wait a long time, but a lot of people do. And with Fungineers, you just have to be patient. I mean, who else is making this motor? Nobody. Be patient. Not patient, I don't know, get a float wheel. That'll still take a month and a half to come across the ocean and get here, I'm sure. But, ooh yeah, it's gorgeous. I did decide to compare it to a bunch of tires, and it is respectively the same size as most common one-wheel tires. Here we have you got your Vega, you know, it's got 300 miles on it. Burst treaded TX33, that's a great tire. Enduro, God, my favorite tire right now. And we're going to give this guy a try. Now, when the air is completely out of that Thunder tire, it does look about as square as the rest. And the only one that stays around with no air is that awful fucking Vega tire that will never see the light of day on a one-wheel I own ever again, that's for sure. That's a horrible tire. But hey, it's all I had when I got my first XR, and hey, I ran that thing all the way to the threads. So, burst treaded, that's an awesome tire. Got one of those that I've already ran all the way to the threads, and I can't say enough about those Enduros. Here's kind of a comparison against a XR already built with an Enduro tire on it. Be nice to be able to cruise over 19 miles an hour on my board for once. Can't wait till I get this build done. Of course, this motor's not going in that XR. It's going to be on a separate thing. And another thing I've noticed on some of the videos is I don't think people really take enough care to realize that you should get these bolts on the inner hubs tight AF. Like serious. Like, don't use power tools, but if you're doing it by hand, you still got to get them tight. And there's a way to do that. And a lot of it's just, I see people tighten it, they think they're getting stuff tight, but it's like, how? You're not getting no leverage just by holding the other end with your hand or something like that. Or using a very tiny Allen key thinking you're getting some leverage on that. You're just not. But other than that, stoked to build this project. I probably will be making some more videos all the way up to a full board build. Hopefully my video and editing skills and voiceover skills get better, you know, but hey, I've only made a few videos so far for YouTube, and you got to start somewhere, and this is definitely where I'm starting. I do like to make sure I get the Loctite on all the bolts. Make sure you just get it on there. And for those that are wondering, I did measure my bolt holes. They did come out in the safe area for the sizing, so they were fine. So no worrying about having to get the larger M8 bolts or anything like that. I think that's probably going to be a thing of the past with these motors. It's just probably small amount of motors were affected, and I don't think I got one of those. And I don't know. I guess before the video is out, I definitely want to say thank you, Fungineers, for finally getting me my motor here. I get it takes a while to get stuff done. Problems happen. People got to learn to be patient. Be patient. So that was awesome. And definitely want to thank Float Life for all the wonderful stuff I've bought in over the years, and hell knows, I'll just keep buying more stuff because they got the goods too. But anyways, now that we got that on, I'm not worried about getting this side tight. I'm just worried about getting this rail on it and that block on. It's only going to be temporary. Well, if I can find the frickin' hole for the damn thing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just slap that little bitch on. Like I said, you don't need no power tools or none of that. Don't do that. That's how you'll wreck these things. Really don't know much more to say, except for if you're planning on building a board, do understand there's very few places out there that actually make stuff for this. The DIY scene is just it's still in its infancy. It's still growing, and it just keeps getting better. A year ago, I would have never considered building a vest, but now it's just how could you not consider building a vest with all the amazing stuff that's coming out? Controllers are getting better. Battery packs are starting to get a little more obtainable. No more messing with the lockout crap that certain companies put in their boards, which is unfortunate because it's like I love taking my boards apart and I like changing stuff. That's why you got to go Vask. And let's see, do this. Let this video roll on a little bit and I'll show you how I actually torque these things up good and tight. Alright. Hard thing about doing voiceovers is you gotta watch yourself and you'll speak faster than the video happens, I guess. I don't know. Promise the next video will be better, but I'm just brushing this one out just because I'm sick of sitting on it. So here's the point of putting that rail on. Leverage. So now I can hold that other side and I can really crank that little minuscule key, and you're going to see what I'm talking about there too. I mean, I can only get that so tight with my hand, and that key is only like 4 inches long. So what I do is I take this wrench, put it on their back, kind of like a cheater bar concept, and this is going to give me lots of leverage, and I can just really get that last crank on it. You want these tight. I've had my XR ones come loose after putting in some bearings, so they will come loose even on an XR, but they get tight as hell. You don't want these coming loose. They come loose, they will self-destroy the hub. And all I'm going to do is just take this rail, flip it over to the other side, and do the same thing on this first side I started with. Don't forget to do your other side. Make it full tight. You crank them on like this, you'll probably be fine, and it won't come loose. But only time will tell. I'll build a board, I'll get a bunch of miles on it, and we shall find out. But other than that, I think that's all I really got for this video. You know, I guess that's about everything I got. So till the next video, guys, you can watch me crank these last 2 bolts on tight and call it a day. Other than that, thanks for watching. Sub if you want to possibly see some more crappily made videos, but hey, I got you all covered on that. Thank you for watching.